Gaslight. 1. Noun. A type of lamp in which an incandescent mantle is heated by a jet of burning gas. 2. Verb. To manipulate someone by psychological means into questioning their own sanity. Woo! This poem is called Set the Candle to the Gaslight. Try to tell me that the melting never happened. Make it all out to be another trick of the light, all in my head and gone again. Tear the wallpaper down. Convince me the color blue has never existed. Make me feel small as ever, waxy doubt coating the entire floor. I dare you. Did you really think time could char that easily? Consider, the Library of Alexandria is gone, but its name isn't. Burn history of any kind and it burns right back. When people talk about fire purifying anything, they don't take their own memories into account. There is nothing more real than the orange and the heat and that sound of rushing dread. We remember everything.
Yeah.
All of us. Even you can't erase that.
Woo!
How's it going, Houston?
Woo! Yeah!
Cool. I'm Lyd. I'm originally from Arizona, but I live in Boise. And this is my first time in Houston.
Yeah!
Yeah, and I'm really, really excited to be here. I've wanted to feature it right about now for a very long time. It looks very similar to what I've seen on YouTube, and that's really great. This would usually be the part of my set where I say, you can buy my chapbook, but I sold out of my chapbook.
Oh!
Which is a wonderful problem to have. If you do want to buy it, I can tell you where to buy it online. I think it's still available. It is a limited edition chapbook through Nostrovia Press. It is pay what you want/can.
Pay what you want /can. You can't afford not to buy it.
That's actually true. Yeah, but I am going to read a couple poems from the book.
Do you have any other merch for sale?
I do actually. I have 2 prints that I have made myself with quotes of my own poems plus like photography shit that I've done. And I also have a broadside of a poem that I'll be reading later.
How much are the prints?
It's all pay what you want/can too for that too. So
Pay what you want /can for all of it. You can't afford not to buy it. Lee came all the way from Boise, Idaho. I'm going to pass around this tip jar.
Oh hell yeah.
And then I'm going to give you the stage to finish your set.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm in college.
Yeah, you are.
Woo! That shit's hard.
I am a poet. So I hate money, but I do need it most of the time, unfortunately. I flew here last night, and the Lyft app wasn't working for some reason, and so I had to take a cab. And I'm like 85% sure that my driver intentionally missed the exit like 5 times. So it was double what it was supposed to be, and it was a lot. So if you do want to tip me, that will go towards me not doing that again. Cool. So yeah, I'm going to read a couple poems from the book that are in the book. So 2018 was a really hard year, and I'm glad it's over. One thing that happened is I publicly named 2 men who had sexually harassed me for years for the first time, which I don't regret, but which was hard. And I felt a lot of things about it, and I didn't quite understand a lot of them, and I realized it was probably because I am never going to be able to name the men who have assaulted me in the same way. And so, yeah, I wrote a poem about it, and it's called Lion Honey. After every nightmare about another pair of hands trying to unravel me, I wash my hair in the bathroom sink, cover the floor in a forgiving kind of rainfall, draw a self-portrait against the ivory acrylic with all my loss, or growth, depending on how you look at it. If, in this story, I am supposed to be Samson, then let me be the pair of scissors too. I haven't had a haircut in 1.5 years. Haven't heard anything about Michael in almost 4. Ran into Eric, for the 6th time this semester, 4.5 weeks ago. Almost ran into Curtis 2.5 weeks ago, but didn't, but almost did. And I've been sweating out of my body every night since. Probably won't ever hear from Ryan again. He was from Tinder after all, and from the city where I left so much behind. I had so little hair back then, so little to hold on to, but oh, Ryan's hands were so adaptable. Almost shaved my head after he left my body after he left. Even mania couldn't dull that recoil. I think a lot about how sick I was when each of these men took from me. They saw me unlucid, heavy with a most violent grief, and I think that made me pray even further. The mad prey loses their tongue, and suddenly every pair of hands can get away with anything. The mad prey regains their tongue. Now years have passed, and all the hands are so far away. I am supposed to be Samson. I can't ignore the parts of me that became Delilah, weakening me after a lifetime of trust, submerged in the sunlight of ambiguous guilt when they saw what the men had done to the rest of me. If I'm supposed to be Samson, I would also like to be the honey, born from the carcass of trauma. Let it slip like sink water down my throat. Allow my hands to weave my hair into an intricate braid. They are the only hands that have ever shown me softness after all. I mop the floor. I try to forget all their names. I ask whichever God is listening to make my body a temple. No. I ask whichever God is listening to make my body a crumbling pillar. Alright. Most of the poems from here on out are fairly happy. Happy shit, I guess. This next poem is called Are There Smoke Alarms in the Vatican? Which is something I Googled once and got no answers for. So I wrote a poem instead. The story goes, a white dove landed on a man named Fabian's shoulder in 236 AD, and he was declared Pope thereafter, as it was considered a sign from the Holy Spirit. The story goes, a social worker in the first psych ward I tried to God myself out of told me that the Lord had a plan for me, that she could see how special I was, and prayer would help my brain heal from any and all maladies that plagued me between those sterile walls. I tell people I never learned how to properly pray. Grew up Catholic only in name. Read too many books. Invented new deities when things got lonely or desperate, and things were always lonely or desperate. There's something to be said about talking to your bedroom wall when every other part of your life is brokenly quiet, and naming the wall God. Maybe that's called praying. Maybe that's called surviving. There is also something to be said about signs. I'm still alive. Is that a sign? I think I made myself into white smoke. Potassium chlorate, lactose, pine rosin, rose above all the chimneys and clouds when it was finally decided that I would not try to die again. Landed on the shoulders of all my past burdens and said, go serve God now. By God, I did of course mean this new joy. Not always overt, but always present. The story goes, I stopped pulling out my own feathers. I stopped fixating on the word miracle. I became my own omen. Fun fact really quick. I did that poem in Salt Lake, and afterwards one of my friends, her girlfriend came up to me afterwards and said, hey, just so you know, there are smoke alarms in the Vatican. So, we're good. The Vatican's not going to burn down, at least not that easily. Yeah. So this is the last poem from the book I'm gonna read, and it's called Ekphrasis on the first nude I ever took voluntarily. In the right lighting, I look like someone who has never worn their own body like a stone-filled coat. And maybe this is why I always write about bodies of water, but never compare myself to them. But back to the mirror, and the algebra of finding a pose that doesn't look too much like a pose, the Renaissance paintings in my belly, the Playfair ciphers in the crook of my left elbow. Frank Lloyd Wright would have loved my tits. Frank Lloyd Wright would have built entire houses in homage to my tits.
Yes.
And would you just hear me now? Would you just look at the camera phone in my hand and the lack of fear in my eyes? There is no science to this, but there's a part of me that definitely doesn't understand it. I won't argue with the mirror, though. Not today. All the lights are humming my favorite song. Tonight, I walk into the current of my own body, willingly.
Woo!
I changed my set list like 2 minutes before I got up here, which was... I don't advise that.
Remix.
Alright, so here's another religious, somewhat poem, even though I'm not, whatever. So, okay, this poem is called Nolle me tangere, which in Latin means don't touch me, and it's written with thanks to my dear friend, Cece Cody. That was the winter I started growing out my hair, went off my anxiety meds, turned 19 on the warmest day in February. That was the summer I ran errands while wearing a shirt that says, "Don't touch me," in both English and Latin. As I waited to cross the street, the stranger next to me told me I looked like a modern-day Joan of Arc. To be called brave by someone you don't know is to wonder if you wear your survival like a half-burned dress. To witness your own resilience is to be both Jesus and Mary Magdalene. So there I was, 19 years old with chin-length black hair, not quite girl, not totally afraid, hadn't spoken to any specific God in almost a decade, but I do speak. Nobody told me what you do when the world tries to kill you, so I improvised, and here I am now. I ate those flames whole, or I just kept going. I spit in the face of every man who called me a heretic, or I just started wearing a shirt that says "Don't touch me" in 2 languages in hopes that they finally get the message. I've been writing on my own fearless back for centuries, or I just took it one day at a time for 8 years. I don't know if I'm special for overcoming, but perhaps I'm special for becoming. Winter always cycles back. I watch the leaves outside lose themselves again. I haven't had a haircut in a long time. I'm in my 20s now, and every sunrise is still a saint to me. A friend recently said they most often associate me with swords and undying kindness. What fine weapons I've forged for myself. How fireproof my future seems to be. Maybe I was always born to do this. I really love George Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a George Michael shirt for Christmas, and I almost wore it tonight, and then I realized I would freeze to death, so I'm not wearing it, unfortunately. But yeah, I wrote a poem about George Michael, and now you're going to hear it.
Yeah.
It's called "But Everybody Should." Making my anthem on Tinder, "I Want Your Sex," parts 1 and 2, is a life choice I did not think through very well. But what I need all these cis boys calling me girl and babe to know is that I am at my queerest when I am as soft with myself as I am with others. When I'm combing my hair in the shower and my own hands become my mother's. When I'm dabbing highlighter into the cleft of my chin with my middle finger. I have practiced shaking my small, square ass in the bedroom mirror the way George Michael does in the Faith music video more times than I can count. I got the right side of my head shaved while Freedom 90 played in the distance. I can't pierce my ears, so I started wearing clip-ons because of him. I terrified my grandparents by crying all over their love seat on Christmas Day 2 years ago after I found out he had died. Every day since then has been an attempt at unabashed love for most things, including myself. I am at my queerest when I'm making my friends dinner, when I'm crafting a playlist with a theme that's far more specific than necessary, when I'm dancing, anytime, anywhere. I'm at my queerest every single day of my life. My canvas sneakers tied so tight I feel the safest I've ever been. All the pins on my denim jacket clattering like a makeshift backup band when I walk. Letting the cis boys on Tinder know they shouldn't talk to me or anyone else like that. And wishing them all the best when they inevitably stop talking to me. Because I do. Really, really do. Woo! So, I have 2 more poems. Usually, either of these is my closer. Tonight felt very special, so I'm gonna do both.
Yeah! 2 closers.
That's my internet friend.
I'm asked to write a love poem, so I buy myself red carnations just because I can. I'm asked to write a love poem, so I make myself 3 different kinds of mashed potatoes the night before I get my wisdom teeth removed. I'm asked to write a love poem, so I press aloe vera to my acne scars every night. I'm asked to write a love poem, so I relearn how to 4-strand braid my hair. I'm asked to write a love poem, so I refer to myself in the present tense all the time now. I'm asked to write a love poem, so I never let myself hold back tears anymore. I'm asked to write a love poem, so I make sure I get 8 hours of sleep every single night.
Woo! That's right.
I'm asked to write a love poem, so my mother tells me I should never talk to myself the way I would never talk to my friends, and I listen. I'm asked to write a love poem, so I end every day by saying something I love about myself to the mirror.
Yeah.
My eyes, hazel and welcoming. My hands, small and warm. My sense of humor, fucking fantastic. My heart, gigantic and ridiculous in all the best ways possible. I'm asked to write a love poem, so I look at the photo of Kay and Joplin eating a mozzarella stick, Lady in the Tramp style, or the photo of Emily at the Joyce Manor concert, or the photo of TC reading Sam Sachs on my bedroom floor, or the video of Dorothy with her giant fan covered in peach emojis, waving it and laughing. I'm asked to write a love poem, so I thank all my friends for teaching me how to be a love poem.
Oh, nice.
I can't say I believe this world to be a love poem, not now or ever, but I can say I believe this space to be a love poem. I believe any space where I can hold my best friend's hand, or FaceTime another best friend, or just say another best friend's name out loud in praise. Those are all love poems. To have more than one best friend is the luckiest love poem in the world. To have learned how to love unselfishly and vastly is a love poem I am grateful to be memorizing every day. To have learned how to love myself is my magnum opus, and may it always be this timeless. May it always be the pen I am relearning how to hold, so that each time I write, my penmanship grows smoother, and my hand hurts less and less. Woo! This is my last poem. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. All of you, seriously, this is such a lovely. This is my last stop before I go back to Boise because I have school on Monday. So yeah, it felt very right to close out with this poem, not just because it's the last night, but also just because Sophie. Okay, just really quick. This poem was originally a duo piece with my best friend, Kay Lang. We did it at the National Poetry Slam. And it has been kind of amazing just seeing something I wrote resonate with a lot of people. It is truly the most beautiful feeling in the world. And so, yeah, I was never going to perform this poem again after Nationals, but Kay was like, you need to perform this poem fucking everywhere. So, that's what I'm doing.
Listen to your friends.
Yeah, listen to your friends, goddammit. So, yeah, thank you again for having me. I have stuff in the back. I take cash, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal if we have to, money via Messenger, Pigeon, whatever you want. Yeah, come say hi. This is called All Things Grow. Bless every poem about trauma and struggle and loss I have written thus far for getting me this far. Bless all the space they needed to take up, and bless them for knowing when to step away. Bless the songs I can't listen to anymore because nostalgia and association will be the death of me. Bless the fact that I am not dead yet. Bless the fact that I don't know where my abuser is anymore, and I am okay with that. It doesn't mean I've forgiven him, but it does mean I've forgiven myself. And bless my mother for believing me. Bless my mother for driving me to all the psych wards, then picking me back up after discharge. Bless my mother for believing in me. And bless my friends for carrying me home. Bless my friends for making me a home. Bless the cities of Boise and Houston. Bless all the light they give us even at night. Bless all the rivers even when they want to overflow. Bless the scars on my arms that faded and the ones on my face that didn't. Bless all the ways I spill like metal secrets against the floor. Bless the glitter always on my hands and the becoming. Bless the way my hair is growing out right now. Bless the meds that worked until they didn't. And bless the way that I never stopped working. Bless the fact that once I didn't think I knew how to write a happy poem. So bless all the cliches I am learning to love, because I like being a happy person more than I like being a good writer. Bless vulnerability. Bless bravery. Bless whatever it is I'm doing right now, because everyone who has ever hurt me has tried to make me quiet. Drown me in the frantic water I just learned how to endure. This is not a survival song. This is the song I sing because I've survived. The opportunity for the joy I have always deserved, because I have always deserved to take up space. That's all. That's all. Thank you very much.
One more time, give it up for Lid. Hey, Lid does have merch for sale. Please make sure to visit them if they said any.